is Mike Steenhoek. I'm the Executive Director of the Soy Transportation Coalition. And the Soy Transportation Coalition is an organization that is funded by 13 state soybean farmer organizations. So we really represent 85% of soybean growth in the United States. We work on transportation issues that are applicable and important to soybean farmers, from where soybeans are grown to where they're ultimately consumed. So we work on issues related to rural roads and bridges, to our highways and interstates, our freight rail system, our inland waterways, and that includes our locks and dams as well as our ports. Over half of what is grown in the United States is ultimately exported. So when that's the reality of your industry, you can't just get supply right and you can't just get demand right. You also have to make sure you're getting our transportation system right, that connectivity between supply and demand. So we focus very much on that connectivity between farmers growing the soybeans and where they're ultimately consumed, whether it's a domestic customer or an international customer. I have a number of initiatives and projects that really help try to make our transportation system more cost-effective, more reliable, more competitive. And so you'll find me working with county engineers on ways to improve the replacement and the repair of rural bridges. The condition of our bridges in rural America is problematic, and the funding in rural areas to replace a lot of these bridges can be quite limited. So one of the things that we're doing is trying to promote more cost-effective ways for replacing and repairing rural bridges. And that's important because that's the first link in our supply chain. If you don't have an effective system of rural roads and bridges, it doesn't matter the condition of your freight railroads, it doesn't matter the condition of your barges and the inland waterway system, or as well as our ports, the product will never get off the farm. So you have to make sure you've got a very effective series of rural roads and bridges. A project that is underway that we helped play a role in achieving is the deepening of the lower Mississippi River near New Orleans. There's been a long aspiration to deepen that stretch of the river from 45 feet of water depth to 50 feet of water depth. And when you are able to achieve that deeper river, you can load more soybeans per vessel. And so we as an organization, we helped promote it at the federal level, but soybean farmers also provided $2 million of funding to help underwrite some of the cost of that project. And I think that's kind of unique about the United States, where you've got both the federal government, the state government, and you're seeing farmers, the actual beneficiaries of it, being willing to invest in some of these projects to help them move them forward. And so that project is currently underway. They're at 48 feet right now. Ultimately, we're going to get to 50 feet. And what that means is you're going to be able to put an additional 500,000 bushels of soybeans per vessel. The Pacific Northwest is the #2 export region for U.S. soybeans, and that about 25% leave from these terminals. It's a really important export region for U.S. soybeans and U.S. soybean meal. But one of the things that we're really excited about is some of the new investment that we're seeing in that part of the country. The Port of Grace Harbor is a great example of that, with AGP's recent announcement of an expansion of their meal export capacity at that port. We certainly want to do everything we can to encourage that, because not only is it important for us to be able to export whole soybeans, but what we're seeing in the United States with more soybean processing here within the country, largely to be able to produce more meal, to be able to target the renewable diesel market or the sustainable aviation fuel market, that's going to provide new opportunities to export meal from the United States. So we certainly want to maintain our ability to export whole soybeans, but this whole new opportunity to export more meal is something that we're really interested in as well. But we've got to make sure that we've got the infrastructure that can accommodate that. One of the things I really try to underscore is that investment is not just a one-time activity. It should be a perpetual activity. And a great nation and a great industry will continue to invest in yourself. And one of the things I always try to keep in mind when it comes to our international customers is, just because we earned your business yesterday doesn't mean we're entitled to your business today or tomorrow. So we have to always be winning that business. We need to earn that business. And one of the ways we earn that business is by continuing to invest in our supply chain, continuing to invest in our infrastructure so that we can still get that product to where it's consumed in a cost-effective, reliable manner.